Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly meeting of the Phrancko Sweater Knitters. You can join us at any time, any time that we're meeting, which is 2:30 on Saturday Pacific time. And the link to it is found in various locations. Once you sign up for the website, phrancko.com, you'll find the link there. It's also on my Ravelry page. Username is Phrancko. You just have to know how to spell it. So come join us when you can if you're interested. Hi, Sumner.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Sidra.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Judith.
Hi.
Hi, Serena.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Rana.
Hi, Frank.
Oh,
Hi, everybody.
hi, Rana.
Is it hot where everybody is?
No,
Wasn't.
it's warm. I would say it's about 80 or about so.
Yeah, we're 73.
It's hot in Florida.
Yeah.
And we're 65 in San Francisco.
Oh wow, so it's cool for you today.
Yes, it is.
Very pleasant.
Yeah,
It's always cool.
yeah, and 73 for us.
How do you
Oh,
like,
Frank,
like my
that's
new look?
beautiful.
That's
I love it.
Oh, dang.
You said you were going to color your hair.
That's excellent.
That's very fun.
It looks like you're wearing a new sweater, too.
This one has been put aside for a while. I was wearing it all the time.
No, I meant your cartoon sweater.
But if you look carefully at my hair,
It is blue.
I saw that it was colored, and I was wondering if
Yay.
it was the green screen or something.
right?
My goodness.
Well, that's fun.
That's fabulous.
Fun.
I would have to draw mine on.
Yes. Well, with this
Or you could use spray paint. Spray paint would work.
spray paint works. Yes.
Paint, clown paint, spray paint.
I just did it for fun. And
And
it's temporary. It's not even semi-permanent. It rinses right out.
My
Oh,
hair
okay.
was temporary, but that's very good.
Well, Frank, is it fun?
It is fun. Every
Good.
time my husband sees me, he laughs. So that's good.
As long as you can keep them laughing, right? There you
That's
go.
right.
I say that all the time. I just had my 4th anniversary, July 27th, and we laugh every day.
Oh, great.
We laugh every day.
So what's everybody been working on this week?
You don't want to know.
I redid a couple of my buttonhole swatches because I wasn't real pleased with them. And so I redid. So now with where I am, I do have all the swatches done. And I'm starting to cast on for the wristlet for level 2.
Anything to show, or is it just casting on?
It's
Oh,
just
there you go.
It's so tiny. It's so tiny.
Yes.
I can show you like colors. that
Every
I'm
great
doing now.
journey starts
Begins
with
with the
cast on
cast on.
row.
I'll show you the colors,
Yeah.
though. I do really like my colors that I chose
Okay.
for the wristlet. These are the colors that I chose for the
Oh,
wristlet.
those are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
that.
Oh, we.
I
Yes,
based
yes,
them
yes.
on a picture of some little spring flowers that I took that have those purples. And I thought it
Oh.
would work good for the wristlet. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh, nice.
Fun. Nice color choice.
Thank you. Now, if I can just get gauge and work on that tiny circle, I'll be fine.
How's the yoke sweater, Frank?
It's coming along fine, and I stopped knitting it and started. Well, first I produced a proposal, which for a yoked design, and I think it might take me too long to knit it, so I proposed to publish it in the spring issue rather than the winter issue. So it'll be 6 months before that comes out.
No pressure.
I will show you the, let's see, I'll show you the design that I submitted. I don't know if I have to do that to show full screen, but anyway.
So that you have to tell them what you're planning on doing. and then-
Yes, you submit a proposal and you say what kind of yarn you're going to use, and there. Can
Oh,
you see
cool.
that?
Oh, I like that. That's
Yes.
pretty.
Very neat.
Very
The motifs on the shoulders are different than the 3 across the front and across the back, because it's actually saddle shouldered. It's a very unique construction. It's a yoke design. It's knitted like a yoke sweater, but it actually preserves saddle shoulders across the 2 shoulders, and then creates the set-in sleeve architecture like any other Phrancko set-in sleeve design.
Oh, I
Must
like
make
that.
a-
That's pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and-
might even fit me because yoga sweaters are always tough because my shoulders want to push up the neck
Oh,
because I've got broad, like level shoulders, I guess.
oh, do
So a
you?
yoga sweater
Okay.
doesn't want to sit well on top of my actual shoulder.
Oh,
So that's why I like saddle shoulders so nicely because they fit. I've got a very wide back.
uh-huh.
So yeah. So that could actually work for me.
So then I
Is-
spent the rest of the week programming so I can get the website to present the possibility of a yoked sweater design. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to make it really simple to say. And I would not want somebody to go to the website and try the yoked sweater first, because it's going to be the most difficult sweater to knit, even though it's all knit. I mean, it's completely in the round. Especially if you're going to do follow a chart like that, on top of trying to remember where to put increases and decreases, which get pretty complex.
So why do you say it's difficult since it is all in the round and it's all knitting?
You would think it would be simpler.
I know.
And in
would.
some
It's
ways
like,
it
why
is.
that hard?
Well, in order to make a cone-shaped yoke,
Yeah.
you have to put just the right number of increases as you go out from the neck.
Mhm.
And so it may not have the same number of increases on every other row. It may have no increases for 2 rows and then an increase row, and then 1 no increase row and 1 increase row. So it may be 2 and then 1 and then 1 and then 1 and then 2 and then 1.
So the challenge is keeping track of where you are.
Yes, it's just keeping
It's
track
not
of
that
where
it's
you are.
hard knitting.
No, it's keeping track
Okay.
of where you are. People have a lot of
Yeah.
trouble sometimes
Counting.
doing that. And then once you finish the yoke, which has that difficulty, then you are going to start creating the sleeve caps, which, as you know, you have to track very carefully because those aren't regular increases either.
Mhm.
They're at a very carefully calculated distance. And then on the body, you are actually going to do decreases down each side. And those are also not regular. So you're going to have to keep track of which round is doing which sleeve cap stitch and which across the body, whether it's decreases or not.
So it's going to be the at the same time stuff.
At the same time. And if
Yeah.
you add to that, at the same time, you're tracking a chart and making sure you do the chart colors correctly.
Mhm.
That's like 3 different at the same time things going on.
Mhm.
Do you use Knit Companion at all?
I have. I haven't.
That allows you to
recently.
track
Yes,
four
I
different
use
things at once.
I use Stitch Fiddle, and it allows you to track also.
Yeah, so it's not, I don't,
But Stitch Fiddle, you can't just upload a PDF like you can in Knit Companion. But since I designed the charts, I've got them in Stitch Fiddle anyway, so that's why I use it.
okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking, maybe you think it, I mean, because it certainly it's a lot of work you're putting into it. I think maybe that's why you're thinking it's difficult. I just don't think that the counting of your rows is as difficult as you think.
It's not as difficult as people make it out to be, but I found it did get a little tedious doing three things at once, making sure you updated all of the counter lines and so forth. But it's not impossible, and it'll produce some interesting work.
Just everybody thought.
Yeah,
And by the time you get to the armpits, you're home free. The
that's
rest of
right.
it's easy,
Then it's
right?
just knit,
It's
knit,
like-
knit.
So you're fine.
You
Right.
wouldn't have thought Argyle socks were so complicated. I've only been knitting for 30 years.
Oh,
Go
gosh.
figure.
Huh.
Is it intarsia, the color work in the top? Or-
No, it's not. I thought that might add another layer of complexity to it.
Yes,
But-
indeed.
But
Go
the
for it.
design would lend itself to intarsia, and I almost wish, and maybe I will do something that has an intarsia design, but not my very first one.
Good.
Sumner's just dying to do an intarsia version of a yoke sweater with
I'm
set
sure.
sleeves.
No.
Take the challenge, Sumner.
I'm gonna do like my second pair of Argyle socks, and then I'm gonna work on your hoodie.
Oh, good.
I just got some Aran yarn from Ireland. My sister was in Ireland,
Oh,
and I made her buy me some yarn
nice.
because that's what you do.
That's right.
Funny, they're calling it Aran, but they're saying US 7s.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, but it's also it's spun and everything in Shannon.
Huh,
Who knows if it's actually a US 7, right? Who knows? I'd
right.
have to. It looks to me as though it should be done on an 8 anyway. So I was
Yeah.
with that gonna use just a simple cable pattern and make an Irish jumper.
Well,
And-
you always want to use the size of needle for you that gives you the fabric that you want.
right
I
to
mean,
get the
that's
gauge, right?
what
to
they
get the
say on the
gauge.
ball band is just the starting place.
Right.
You know, some of us go tighter, some of us go looser. Hardly
Yeah,
anybody is average.
Right. The weight and the yardage lend itself to be a true Aran, so I'm gonna try it on 8s and see what it looks like. You might call it Aran just because it was in Ireland. Who knows?
Does it
I
seem
don't
to be
know.
thick,
Um,
like Aaron?
yeah, it seems to be Aran.
Well, what's the yardage for?
You know, I did just put it away. I'd have to look, but it seemed like it was an Aran weight and yardage. US 7, US 8. I think that they don't use US sizes anyway.
Yeah, they don't.
They just printed something and that's what they put it out as. It was a craft fair yarn.
Yeah. What size needle are you using?
I'll probably use an 8.
A 3 on Aaron?
I'll probably use an 8
Okay.
on Aran
Yeah.
because I'm going to make a cable and I want it to actually breathe. Because like up here in where I am in Massachusetts, we wear Irish sweaters inside because we have 4 seasons, and one of them is exceptionally long. And here's a clue: it's not summer. So yeah, we wear
Yeah.
sweaters inside.
I did my hoodie in Aran yarn, and I used US 9 needles.
Okay. Yeah, I got that baby denim color, the Cascade 220 Aaron. Wow, is it beautiful?
Oh,
That's gonna be such a nice hoodie.
that's great.
I still might steek it and throw a zipper in it. Don't get mad, but I'll make it traditional and then
The hood design is not going to lend itself to that because it
no, but-
overlaps at the top.
yeah, no, but that's adjustable. You
Well,
could just throw another hood design on.
yeah.
I
you
get
do
the
that.
hoodie part. I like the kangaroo pouch a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like that front pouch pocket I love that.
Yeah, it came out really good. I like
Really nice. Because I've done sweater pouches, but the pouch ends up when you put stuff in it, coming below the hem.
Right. This one is
Yours
attached.
isn't gonna do that. It can't do that.
This one is double fabric down to the ribbing and
Right.
then comes back together, so that there is nothing to hang down below the ribbing.
Right. The construction is perfect. So yeah, I like it. But that also is what makes it easy. If you're gonna steek it, I could sew it up with the machine and cut it down the middle and put a zipper in, and I just have two pockets instead of one. It's
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I have a pocket for each hand and I have a zipper in the middle. That's fine. It works. Just cheating.
Yeah.
And so I have something to share. I finally
Yes.
finished the sweater
Hi, Sidra.
with all the nubs. So,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
look.
so
Oh, I love it.
Wow,
Oh,
Oh, that
we,
is pretty. That turned out lovely.
I love it.
And did you knit the nubs in?
it's all part of the yarn.
Oh, I love
Wow.
Yeah.
it. So
So
cool.
every 12 inches or so is a little nub, and then So
Oh,
it's-
that's
did you like working with that yarn?
yes
was
and
it-
no.
Was it annoying or pleasant? Or...
I did not split the yarn at any time except for where the nubs were. You might have done a little bit of that, but you caught it pretty quick.
Okay.
When you realize that you didn't quite get the stitch in. Other than that, it was okay. It's not something I want to do again. And then I started a cardigan for my daughter, so it's all acrylic.
Oh, nice.
Nice
Oh,
color.
That's pretty.
Yeah. So
Yep.
she decided
Yeah, that's
about it.
great.
Sweetie.
That's great.
So that's what I'm working on now.
What's the fiber of the top you have right now with the nubs?
I think it's a wool and something else. I don't have anything here on it.
Okay.
I should look it up.
I wondered if it had like some linen or something in it or silk or
I
something.
don't know. Let's
Sorry, I asked. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, we're all curious, Cindy.
Oh, good,
Yes,
good.
we are. That's right.
Thank you, Judith, for saving me.
did not put in my projects, so I don't know what it is.
Yarn.
So I don't know.
Okay.
When you're knitting it, you think you'll remember it forever.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, yes. I can't even remember until I'm done knitting it, Rana.
So Cindy, I picked up, it's funny, I vacuum seal all my yarn in my stash,
Oh, very cool.
so I don't get any moths, 'cause,
Yeah, no, scary.
It's, how many yards are you? There we are, 164 yards or 150 meters for 100 grams. So yeah, that'll go perfectly on 8s.
Mhm. Yeah,
That'd be
good.
great.
It should be very good.
I wanted to see, and we're gonna find out for the first time, if this hot pink, they call it highlighter pink, reads Oh, it doesn't read.
It's orange. It looks
This
orange.
stuff is so bright pink, it's almost day glow, and it
Oh,
shows
no,
up
see, that
orange.
looks very orange.
And it shows up
Yeah.
orange. That's a
Wow.
shame. Yeah, this is hot, hot, hot pink.
It matches the picture behind you.
Yeah, well, and it isn't. That's not the color. That's such a shame.
Wonder why it shows up orange.
Yeah, that's so weird. The lighting in my house just stinks.
And what are you going to do with that pink yarn?
It's gonna be socks. Yeah, no, it doesn't even show up.
Oh, it shows a little more where the light is really bright. We see pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like really hot pink, like a
Oh.
highlighter on a piece of paper.
Wow.
I was hoping it would show up nice. And this is a deep purple, like
Oh.
this is as bright in purple, but it's bright. It's not dark.
Oh,
Oh, it looks really, really dark.
Looks almost black, but
Yeah,
it's
it does.
literally
Yeah.
bright purple.
wow.
Oh well, that's a shame. Yeah, I was gonna make some more argyles with that, but lighter base color on the sock.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very nice.
Look outside, and picture your colors and see what that shows.
Do what?
Take the two colors outside, take a picture and see if
Oh.
it shows.
Yeah, like I could take a picture with my phone and it shows up fine. But you can't
look at
see
that.
it becomes orange again.
Yeah, it does. It still looks orange.
It
There's
still looks
something in it
orange.
that's making it be yellow.
Huh. But on the phone itself, when I'm looking at the picture, it's the same color as the actual yarn. It's not orange. Isn't that weird?
That is really
Whatever.
weird.
That's a shame. I think honestly a better overhead light would do it, but whatever. It is what it is. A shame. It was fun. I wanted to show Cindy the purple because it's such a beautiful purple. It's insane.
That'll be neat. It'll be a fun pair of socks.
And Rana, what are you up to?
I'm actually working on a tea, just a little simple tea top, but it reminds me very much of what you're working on with the yoke sweater. And
Yeah.
it has like it's top down, knit all the way down. You start out with a couple of knit rows, purl rows, but that doesn't last long. Has a saddle shoulder, and then it tries to go into a raglan, but it looks more like a set-in sleeve, and you're only doing increases where on the inside of where the raglan would be to begin with to make sleeves. If you go to Seaside Tea, Tee, on Ravelry, you can see it. And
What's the name of the website you mentioned?
On Ravelry, it's name of the pattern, Seaside Tea. And
There it is.
That's cool.
but the top kind of just reminds me of the Phrancko sweater. And it's very different, very simple. And it's really coming out quite nicely.
I have it here. Let me see if I can share my screen again and show it.
If you kind of go through some of the projects and so forth, okay, right there. Can you see the?
It looks exactly like a Phrancko set-in sleeve. Is it?
Right, and it isn't.
Right.
There's bouncing back and forth or anything's sewn together. You don't sew anything. It's really a cool pattern.
Oh, I might have to get that pattern just to see what you're talking about.
But it looks more like a raglan increases than yoke increases. Is that the case?
It is, but the way the sleeves kind of almost look like they're set in,
Right.
it fits kind of like I'm hoping a Phrancko sweater. And I
Wow.
love the little shoulder bit, and then once you've got the saddle part done, you can see how it increases, and that becomes the sleeve.
Mm.
Now, for a while, you're not increasing anymore on the back or the front. You're
Uh-huh.
only increasing where the sleeves are.
Which is how I do it, right?
Right, exactly. It's really cool.
Now, are the increases done at regular
Yes.
spacing? So that means it's a straight line, and instead of a
Instead of a
a
curve.
bell-shaped curve.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's this,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess, but it seems to fit
Of
like
course,
your sweaters.
it does look like it's got a good shape.
Yeah, it really does.
I wonder if any of her other patterns use that same technique for the sleeves.
I think she does. It reminds me of Coco Knit's sweater design.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Coco Knits has
Yeah,
the yoke has the
right.
and the back is where everything
Shoulder
happens.
Yeah, there's more towards the back, but you might want to look at it, Frank, because it knits like what you're describing.
Are the saddles, do you pick up along the saddles like the Phrancko saddle shoulder, or
Nope, nope, you don't have to.
they're done in the round? Wow.
Yep, totally done
I-
right. So
That's really baffling to me. I don't know how that's done.
when you cast on, you're gonna cast on at the very beginning hardly anything. Make believe you're doing a raglan sweater.
Uh-huh.
And then you put a marker, and then you have 10 stitches where the shoulder seam or the saddle shoulder is.
Mm-hmm.
Add the back's number of stitches, and then you add 10 more stitches for the saddle, and then just a few for the beginning, and you're increasing as you go around. The thing that isn't changing is the saddle part, the 10 stitches on the saddle part, until you get the length, which is about 2 inches or 2.5.
The shoulder just doesn't look like increases to me. Here, let me share it again. I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah, I thought you might be.
Now, you're saying across the top of the shoulder, these are increases?
Your the saddle part alone is 10 stitches
Yes,
for my particular pattern.
right. It's 10
And
stitches
you're
across.
Yeah, you're increasing on the outside of the saddle.
Uh-huh.
Right where
All the way along the shoulder.
right, you're increasing there.
Wow.
And then when you get to the end of the saddle where your cursor is right now, then you're working down and you're increasing only on the inside where the sleeve is.
Yes, I understand. I just wouldn't have thought you could get a seam-like thing that precise on the
It's
edges
yeah.
of the saddle, where the saddle goes into the back.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
really nice.
And it does sound like the approach is exactly the same as what I'm doing, except
Exactly.
mine is more circular across the back and the front.
Uh-huh.
So, wow,
It's very tidy.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So, and once you finish the little saddle part, you start increasing the sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as you start knitting in the round, as soon as you've gone down about 1.5 inches or something from the beginning, kind of like yours, but you start knitting in the round sooner than your thing. Anyway, take a look at the pattern because I think you will like the simple
Yeah,
setup.
I definitely will.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake to do. So we'll see. I'm right now. I'm probably in the middle of the sleeve, so I haven't gone very far. So I haven't been able to try anything on to see how it really lays.
Uh-huh.
Are you
Okay.
doing stripes?
I am not. I'm using a yarn that is a gradient because I didn't want to mess with the stripes for until I actually knit one. So I let the yarn doing the color work for me.
Do you think that the pattern will allow you to remove the excess of fabric we see in the front near the underarm on the picture?
I didn't think it was very bad.
Okay,
That was one of the reasons I kind of chose the pattern is because it doesn't seem to have a lot of extra yarn.
okay, maybe it's just the way she's
She's holding her arms in. Yeah.
She's
right.
got hands in her pockets and she's kind of
Ah, yes,
hugging
yes, and
herself.
it lifts her shoulder also when she does that. Okay.
So, but usually when I
Mhm.
see sweaters that have a drop shoulder and so forth, those are the ones that don't fit in the arm very good.
Yeah, I can't, well, not that I can't, but I don't
This
want
one-
to wear.
Yeah, this one appeared kind of tidy, which is what I'd like, but yet I just want to everyday type of tee.
Will you keep us up to date with
I
your
will.
progress?
I
Yes.
will.
Do you remember the ease in it built into it?
It's got a lot of ease.
Because
It's-
I'm looking at some of the other project photos and it does look like it has a certain amount of ease built into it.
more than usual, actually.
Hmm.
So anyway,
Cindy puts into the chat that another pattern by the same designer called I don't know, the Goulayne tea.
right. She's got a lot of tees,
Uh-huh.
t-shirts.
She has beautiful photographs for her designs.
Well, I like the fact you can actually see it on people and you can see it good. That's a good one to show the shoulder.
Yes.
So, and it almost, it's more like a raglan rather than, I mean, a set in rather than a regular raglan.
Yeah, it doesn't look raglan at all.
Does she
It does
follow?
look like the same thing I do.
Yeah,
The only difference is I give more of an effort to make a bell-shaped cap,
right, which is good.
which actually is the only thing I can claim is unique about my design.
Well, and that's what makes it fit so well.
Yeah.
What you do. So we'll see what happens. I'll either love it or hate it.
I'm fascinated by that. I haven't seen anybody doing anything as close to what I do as that seems to be.
Uh-huh. But she's got a lot of different teas. She uses that construction quite a bit.
Well,
Is
thanks
this
for sharing that.
first?
That's really great.
Is that the
Yeah.
first thing you've knitted of hers?
Of hers, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rana, is there a schematic in the pattern?
Not really,
Oh, that's a shame.
but it's it's well written. And let me see if I can. It's 6 pages long. I know that.
Is that long?
Long for a pattern.
Yeah.
She gets kind of wordy.
Oh, well, that's like me too.
Well, that's good. I tend to take patterns and break them down to the common denominator. But it's clear. I find that with this particular pattern, not to get ahead of myself, kind of like eating the elephant. You take one section, one bite at a time.
Yes.
And then it becomes clear. So, but it's a very simple knit. And there's, if you look in the projects of the pattern, there's a lot of different ones. It's interesting. I always kind of judge a pattern too by going to the projects of the pattern and seeing how many things the people are actually wearing them. That tells me a multitude of things.
It helps.
Yeah.
Really.
And if I see a pattern that you don't see anybody wearing it, you just see it laid out or on a blocking board or
Yeah. What's the use?
I don't have a lot of faith in it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
You got to put it on the body to see what happens.
I agree.
So I couldn't find anything wrong with this pattern just by looking at what it consists of and everything.
And what type of yarn we'll be using?
I'm going to use a Phrancko, please, wait a minute. It's called Spray, Phrancko Spray, Simplicity Spray. And it is 55 merino superwash, 28 acrylic, and 17 nylon. 200-gram skeins.
Oh.
And it's like a DK, and it gives you 456 yards for a 200-gram DK. It's kind of nice because it's like 200-gram skeins of sock yarn, but it's all in one. And because it's a gradient, then it's really nice that it lasts that long without having to break it.
Wow.
So I like it a lot. We shall see. The mystery is still out.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to try it.
Sure.
Hope for the best.
It looks like that those two, the Goulion and the one that you had mentioned, Ron, are the only two that have that specific construction of her design.
Yeah, she does.
And they're both done as worsted. She has other designs, but only, I was clicking through, that's what I was doing. Only those two of her designs have that kind of the little saddle shoulder and then the straight down. Some of her others are more raglan.
Right. And I like the clean look of them too, as far as they remind me of your sweaters, Frank. How it's precise and it's not messy at all. And I'm not fussy, of course.
Well, you're the only one, Rhonda, because I'm like totally picky.
Anyway, I'd like to know what you think of it next week, Frank, because I know you're going to get it.
Yes. Well, well, On the
Yes.
Goulayne T, it doesn't look like the stitches go all the way around the front.
I don't know
What do you
about
think?
that. I can only
Maybe I
speak.
missed.
Let me check the other one. Where's
Seaside is
Seaside, right? Seaside there.
the striped one.
I don't know.
Well, they don't show a front shoulder real clear, real close. So I don't know.
But
what
the
they did.
stripes go up to the neckline and stop.
Yeah.
Well, then
Which,
you go
yeah.
the whatever kind of finishing you want on the neck. You'll pick
No,
up
but it doesn't go. It doesn't go like around. The
It doesn't
neck.
go around the neck,
It goes
is what
into the neck.
So you have to
Or
turn
like it
and
goes
curl
around
back.
the back.
no. Well,
Well, it does say first the yoke is
do-
worked
you
back
do-
and forth to shape the neckline and the shoulders. The work is then joined in the round, and the shoulder shaping is continued.
Oh,
you do knit in the regular stockinette back and forth until you get to the front and you add like 25 stitches. From that point on, you're knitting in the round.
I
Yeah.
see.
Got it?
Okay.
Yeah, you can see where the back, if you follow the stripe goes all the way around the back,
Yes.
but it does stop at the front. So you're knitting back and forth, which is which is the case in all of my sweaters as well. You're
Right.
knitting back and forth, often all the way around the back after you close the back of the neck, which I put a little lower.
Right.
But then you're knitting flat until you close the neckline, and that looks like
And
this is
from that point
happening
on,
too. Yeah,
it's in the round.
it's interesting. I just can't get over the fact that she did a saddle shoulder that way. So
And it lays beautifully.
wow, that's really nice.
Can't wait for your pattern, Frank.
I'm trying to come up with creative ways of describing these sequences of increases and decreases. It's not easy to describe for multiple sizes, especially.
Mhm.
But even just for one size, it's like if you need to do 5 increase rows across 11 rounds, no, that's not a good choice. 3 increase rows around 8 rounds, then there's a certain pattern of them you've got to do. Non-increase, non-increase, increase, non-increase, non-increase, increase, non-increase, increase. So
Right.
that gives you 3 increase rounds over 8 total rounds. So I'm calling in my pattern, I say, your block of rounds is this. You want to complete that block 3 times and then add 4 more rounds. And in those 4 rounds, add 1 increase round.
Mhm.
It just
Oh,
gets really
gosh,
complicated
Frank.
to explain it all.
Yeah. This one, once you've stopped doing the saddle part and you're increasing the sleeve, it's knit around plain and then increase 4 stitches, 2 on each sleeve.
Uh-huh.
So every other round you're increasing 4 stitches,
I see.
and they're only done on the sleeve.
That idea, by the way, was which is it's not where I got it from, but I learned later that Barbara Walker described that in her book Knitting from the Top. And it's very much like the construction of a Phrancko crew neck sweater. And the only reason I can suggest that mine is a further developed pattern is because I don't do increases every other row, but I do them in an order to get bell-shaped sleeves.
Yeah, to
Right.
get a particular shape, because everybody
so-
else's, it's just a line.
Right.
Yeah.
When I took the class that first gave me the idea to do this, it was with J.C. Breyer, and she was teaching actually a different construction, but she described the cap, the sleeve cap, that has straight sides and one across the top, a straight across the top, and then the horizontal part is straight out the sides. That's a witch's hat. She called it a witch's hat
Oh.
sleeve cap.
Mhm.
You know, it's like straight on the sides, straight across the top, and straight out the sides of the bottom. And so I turned the straight out the sides of the bottom into a little less straight out and then diagonal up. And then it turns into a bell shape that goes up to the top with a little bit of a straight across the top.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And that's what your shoulder is.
And that's what?
And that's the way your shoulder is.
Yes. I actually knew that because I used to watch my mother sew patterns, and
Mhm.
and when she would do a jacket or a shirt, I don't know why I remembered that the sleeve cap was always bell shaped.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, that is what, if you take a sewing pattern, that's exactly what the shape is like.
My mother was a seamstress and she did the same thing. And I can remember as a kid taking that bell-shaped part of the sleeve pattern, sewing and making a Christmas ornament out of it. A bell.
Oh,
Literally.
cute.
Do you know
Frank,
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Judith?
I'm sorry I interrupted the Rana.
Uh-uh.
Would it help in your pattern to, instead of writing all in words, create some kind of
Chart.
how do you say that? Sorry,
I
like-
said chart.
a chart, yes,
Excel
where
chart.
you would have, you would have the size on top, the rows on the side, and you could write a number with maybe a color legend that would say that color is an increase, and you would put a dot on the row for the size. Or I saw that in a book. Would that apply to your? I don't know if I'm
It
explaining
seems like
clear.
that feels to me like it's just a lot of extra visual and all you're really trying to communicate is the sequence of non-increase and increase rounds.
It's kind of
So I was doing it as XXI, XXI, XI. And if you just have those sequence of letters, you do those repeatedly, where X is a non-increase round and I is an increase round.
I kind of made my own schematic of this, and I just made a circle, the front, the back, and the two sleeves, and
Mhm.
the shoulder or saddle in there. And it calls for 4 markers. Well, the markers are where the sleeve is.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
through 4, and as she wrote the pattern, she refers to these marker numbers all the time. And so what I did is I just drew the circle, put the 4 little markers in the circle and in kind of the proper place.
Mhm.
And I'm increasing on a sleeve. I make sure that my make one left and make one right are inside those markers. So when I look at the page, I don't have to look at the pattern anymore. I just look and make sure that I'm doing the proper make one inside that marker. So
Right.
it's a visual. I like visual.
Mhm.
So what I did on my sweaters of yours is I would do like an Excel sheet, and I would mark down what row is, this part has to have so many stitches on it, and tell me
Yep.
when I have to increase or decrease or whatever. So
Huh.
that's the only thing that kept me straight. Otherwise, I would never know where I was at if I didn't have
Yeah,
that.
you pretty much have to do something where you've got rows lined up.
Right.
Right.
the Cocoa Knits workbook
Yes.
has the color-coded
Ah,
markers where you get to then say left sleeve front,
yeah.
right
Okay.
sleeve back, right? So that's how when I first made a Phrancko, I just ripped out a Cocoa Knit sleeve and I said, here's my do at the same time as my neck increases and my shoulder increases. And I was
Mhm.
able to easily just mark them down.
Yeah.
I think though, Frank, you can allow just how your Phrancko pattern tells you to do that. People to graph it out the same way, whether they use an Excel worksheet, whether you use the
Mhm.
Cocoa Knits, which is just really a piece of graph paper with some lines on it. And then it just tells you this is the left side increase, this is the front increase, this is the right side increase, this is the back. But when you have a yoke sweater, you're just completely in the round.
Yes, well, the
So-
yoke only goes out to the shoulders.
Right.
And then it turns into this, that's where it gets more complicated. It turns into where on the body, you're doing on the body side of, there's a marker at the sleeve cap, right?
Mhm.
And on the inside, the body side of the sleeve cap, you're doing decreases. And on the sleeve cap side of the marker, you're doing increases. And they are not in the same sequence.
Right. So I would still, if I
So,
read your instructions, I'd probably still chart it out the same way.
yeah,
This is sleeve increases, this is front increases, this is right sleeve increases, this is
right.
back. Just so that you could keep track of it.
Yeah, you could put them in a spreadsheet and have a sequence of lines that go down. Maybe I
Right.
can generate something like that. So,
And
so
as you're
it's like
going around,
row
you
one,
know, row one sleeve,
row
row
one
one
sleeve
front.
cap increases, body decreases, row two sleeve cap increases, body no increase, like that.
Yeah, it would break it out enough that I think people would understand it.
Yeah. What I didn't want to do is have complete instructions for every row,
Right.
knit to this marker, do a decrease, and then, round one. Knit to
So,
the
like-
first marker, do a decrease, knit to the second marker, do an increase.
Mm.
Right.
Round
The Cocoa
two,
Knits
round three,
pattern.
round 455, it's like,
Right.
I didn't want to do that.
The Cocoa Knits patterns just give you the blank sheet at the end of the pattern
Uh-huh.
and you fill it.
Oh, I see.
So you could create a blank little kind of spreadsheet,
Mhm.
left, right, front, back, right, whatever way you get people knitting in the round, right? So back, left sleeve, front, right sleeve. Have them fill it in. Just put the blank piece of paper in the back so that you can apply
Oh,
this
yeah.
to that. Knitters don't mind that.
Mhm.
I just because you already have a pretty nice pattern. It's 6 pages of a regular pattern, or depending upon how you size it on the font of your system,
Right.
it would be, I would think, I am not a software developer. That is all you, buddy. Put a piece of blank worksheet on the back.
Well, this has certainly given me some new ideas of how to describe it, and I think that's great. Thank you. Thank you all.
You bet.
Well, I mean, hey, whatever, at the end of the day, you are, you're phenomenal. So thank you.
Cindy, are you going to be the first one to knit the yoke sweater?
I would love to, but I have to make myself finish the level 2 projects before I do anything else.
I saw a hand waving. Judith, you want to be the first one?
Judith,
Well,
would you?
I would love to. I don't know if I'm, how do you say? Am I qualified?
Well, of course you are.
You're
My
qualified.
gosh.
You're qualified.
Okay, no, but
And you're a fast knitter. You'd be able to do it quick.
no, I'm not a fast knitter. I keep ripping back, and Look, this is where I
You're
am.
fast enough. You're fast enough.
But I'm very curious about this new way of doing a sweater. Very.
I will keep that in mind. And when I'm ready to have a test knit, I will get in touch with you.
I don't
Okay,
know if I would do it the stranded. I'm not really.
Sorry.
I didn't know if I would do stranded, but I'd do it as, two color or even one color.
Yeah, it would be easy to do stripes that would be, a yoke stripe or something like that.
That'd be fun.
Well, but also if you just want some proof of concept and to do it, you can just do it plain, one color or some sort of tweedy yarn or something.
Yes.
Right.
Just
Right.
see, it's like, okay, does the fit work with this? How does this do? And just
Right.
do it plain.
Right.
The first 2 times I knitted a yoke, I was, I was working with that multicolored yarn and I didn't position the increases so that they were together. I in fact chose to do, I knew I needed to do 2 increases or 4 increases between the 2 shoulders on
You
this
did in
round.
different places.
So I would just find places where they weren't in line with any others nearby. So I would just put them in random places and it worked really well. The thing laid flat because I was trying to knit a flat disc and that turns out not to be the right thing
Well.
for a yoke, but it worked. Then when I decided to actually do it in sections so that the increases are in the same place and it leaves an open, 3 open sections across the front to put a pattern into.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Then you end up with these lines that go in between the sections where the increases are. I'm still really excited about it. I took a big chance in proposing a published pattern without ever having completed one. But I did enough of it to know that I'm confident that it will be, that it will.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can do it. You can do it. It'll be very cool.
Could you do a mosaic on that instead of a stranded? Would that work?
Well, mosaic is back and forth, right? Can you
No.
do mosaic in the round?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never done mosaic in the round, so.
Yeah, I've seen some yoke sweaters that people did with mosaic.
With mosaic, oh, I see.
Do it that way. So yeah.
So
That
the
might be
Beaucheron-
easier.
The Beaucheron sweater by Dell's Knits is a mosaic yoke sweater.
Oh,
So if you want to look that up, it's Judith.
how do you
You
spell that?
You said
Beaucheron.
Beauceron.
Like Beauceron, Quebec. or
Okay, yep.
Montreal.
They spell
Okay,
it.
how do you spell that? The rest of us
Um,
don't speak French.
Well,
I don't even hardly speak English.
How do you spell Beauceron outside of Montreal? How do you spell that?
I spell it Beauceron.
That's correct.
Beauceron.
Beauceron. Yeah, that's it. So
Beauceron.
Beauceron by Delz,
Beauceron.
Delz Knits. He's a Quebecois designer. You can look him up on Ravelry or Delz Knits. It's actually a mosaic in the round.
Okay.
I might actually have the pattern. I think it might be okay for me to show you as a reference.
Delz Knits, DELZ. I'm not finding.
DELZ.
I'm not finding Delz Knits on
Delz
Ravelry.
Knits. Delz. Let me see.
Oh, is it DELZE?
Maybe.
Designs by Delz, DEZ, DELZ.
There it is. Yep.
Okay.
So, and look at Beauceron.
And
That's
Yeah,
in the
it is
round
the
yoke
it is
mosaic.
the Beaucheron.
Yeah.
Where's this project page?
And
Well,
it's Designs by DELZ.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm on a group page and I don't, oh, Designs by Dells there.
Sorry.
Yes, and then it's called, the Beauceron.
Beauceron, yeah.
Beauceron is what we call people who lives in Beauce region.
Yeah.
Now,
Beauceron.
why are we looking at this? I've got so,
It's
The
a yoke,
mosaic stuff. The
yoke
Oh, I
mosaic
see.
stuff
mosaic
is
in the
yoke.
rounds.
Mhm.
It's a yoke sweater.
Mhm.
But it's mosaic.
Mosaic, yeah.
It's a two mosaic. It's like yeah. That's it. And that's a yoke sweater in the round.
wow.
Yeah.
That's the one you did, wasn't it?
Yeah, I hated it. But go ahead. Hated the pattern.
Why?
The
Why?
pattern wasn't so the pattern I think Rana would agree if she read through the pattern. It's very wordy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trying too much to be novel. Now, it also creates a seam down the sleeve, but you can almost see it in this picture. So down the sleeve.
This
from
is the one that
shoulder
shows, this is
outside
the
of
one
the arm.
that shows that it is a mosaic design. It
Yeah.
was hard to
Yes.
see that in the other pictures.
I mean, it's a beautiful sweater. But down one side of this sweater, and I ripped it out and I did it twice. It creates a seam from the neck down.
Wait,
the
were you
outside.
showing it while I was sharing my screen?
No,
Oh.
it goes from the neck. There's like a seam that goes from the neck down here, because
Oh,
all of his increases are bunched up in a similar spot.
I see. Not a sewn seam, just
Not a sewn seam.
just the appearance of something like a seam.
Appearance of a seam because of where the increases are.
Mm-hmm.
Because also it's just a knit slip mosaic that it's like a small mosaic. It's not like a bigger mosaic, right? It
Right.
makes it so that it's the pattern of increases depending upon the size will create a seam.
So
So I didn't like
we're
how it
running a
looked.
little over, so I'm going to have to end the meeting. And I just want to say that Serena wrote into chat that she had to go and she was enjoying the meeting.
Oh,
She was sorry she had to leave.
bye,
So,
Rana. Let's
um,
do a part 2, Frank, right now
Part 2 of what?
Part 2 of our
of
meeting.
this.
Oh, part 2 of this
ep-
meeting.
of this meeting.
It is to be continued.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next,
Well, I'm
next
afraid
week.
we'll have to continue next week for part 2.
Okay.
Okay, tell me what you think of that pattern. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I love
Bye-bye.
it, Frank, that's funny.